Hello friends, so here we are once again with a new release and some exciting new features. So the first feature in this release is drip feed. As you might be aware that drip feed was already part of the SuperRental platform, but there were some issues in the process, so we have kept it as disabled. That is why you guys were not able to use it, but now we have removed all the issues. We have revamped it and provided few new options as well, so you can use it on your site and your customers can place drip feed orders. We will go through the process by which you can make your services drip feed. Customers can use that service as a drip feed. However, a more detailed video on drip feed has been created, so you can check that video if you want to know more about it. What is drip feed, how you can use it, how it will appear to your customers, etc. So you can view that video and get more details. We will just slightly touch over this particular feature in this video. So to set settings there in services, so here in whichever service you want to set drip feed, we just need to edit that service. As you can see, here it is. We have this new drip feed options with just two options, no and yes. So by default it will be no for all services. You can make it yes. On selecting yes under drip feed, you will also get this new option where you need to select whether you want the next order to wait for last order or you want it to trigger based on the interval that user has specified. More details about these new options is there in the separate video that we have created. You can check that there. So this is how you can actually make a service drip feed. We have also added a new page for drip feeds to appear. Here you can see that under admin, this drip feed. Here you can see that. So you can also see all the orders triggered for a particular drip feed by clicking here. When you click here, here we are. It is showing only 4 orders and all of them are cancelled. So only orders related to that particular drip feed order are appearing here. You can use drip feed like this. The next feature that we have in this release is regarding sellers. So for that we will go to the sellers page. So in the sellers page, you must be seeing these some new icons. So this one, these. So these are all the new features that we have added. The first one is a pause and resume button. So pause and resume button gives you an ability to pause a particular seller on your site. So if you don't want to use a seller, you need not to delete that seller directly. You can simply pause a particular seller and stop everything which is happening for that particular seller. So what all will stop is also mentioned here. All kind of status checks for orders related to that seller will stop. Any new order will not be sent to this seller. Any kind of sync, automatic or manual, will not happen for this seller. Any refill request will also not go. So all of the functionality for this particular seller will stop as soon as you click on the pause button. So we click it, and as you can see, seller has been paused. You can resume a particular seller by just clicking this resume button and everything will get back to normal. So when you can use this, you can use this particular feature when you want a seller to stop functioning on your site. This can be for the reasons like your seller is under maintenance, you're changing hosting, your seller is changing their script. So in any of those cases or anywhere else as well, if you do not want to allow a particular seller to continue functioning on your website, you can simply pause it and you can resume it whenever you want. Earlier there was no option other than deleting the seller, and which resulted in all the services tied to that particular seller getting deleted as well. So there was no way to get them back. With this pause button, all the services will remain there and you can resume and start using those services again as soon as your seller is back live. Next feature is as you can see, this services icon that we have added. So it is actually showing the number of services tied to this particular seller. So there is only one service tied to seller ID 5. There are 2549 services tied to seller ID 1. And for the sellers where this icon is not appearing, they don't have any service tied in your site. So we can actually click on this button. So for example, this seller ID 12, there are 7 services. When we click on this, it takes us to the services page and it shows only services which are related to that particular seller. So as you can see, only 7 services are appearing and all of them are related to seller ID 12. We are back to the seller's page, seller ID 12. The count is also shown when you hover over this icon. Other than this, here is one more icon that we have added, orders. So like services, it is also showing the number of orders tied to this particular seller. So as you can see, there are 596 orders tied to seller ID 1. There is just one order tied to seller ID 2. There are no orders tied to any other seller. So we don't have any orders for them. And that is why no icon. When we click this button, it takes us to the order history page, but it only shows the order related to that particular seller. As you can see, only one order is appearing. So this is how you can check seller specific orders. Okay, so next feature that we have is an enhancement on the users page. When we go to users page, you will see this new icon added to three fields: ID, funds, and last login. So basically you can sort your users data based on these icons. By default, the sorting is descending on the ID. So when we click on this icon, it will start showing users in the ascending order of their IDs, as you can see. Yeah. So we have all the users showing in ascending order. Similarly, we can sort based on the funds, descending, and then we have ascending, and also on the basis of last login field. Okay. For all other fields, it's not possible to make them sortable, and that is why we have left them out. So the next feature that we have is on the services page. So we will go back to the services page, settings, services. So it's a unique feature that we have added here. So when we edit a service or when we create a service, we get a new option called send order. Send order. So what this does is it asks you to specify whether you want to send orders automatically or manually. There are two options, automatically or manually. By default, all the services will have it as automatically. So any order, as soon as user has placed it, it will go to your seller's website within 60 seconds automatically, if it is set as automatically, which is going to be the case by default. But in certain cases, some sellers want to review their orders for some specific services. They want to review their orders before sending it across to the seller. So to allow that, what we have done is we have added this new option, and you can select manually. So once you have selected manually, any order related to this service will not go to the seller automatically. It will stop being sent to the seller. So what you can do is, once you have set a particular service as manually, what you will get is whenever user will place an order for that particular service, that order will appear under the pending orders. So you can review that order, you can check, you can decide whether you are ready to send that order to the seller or not. You can send it by clicking on the send order button here, or you can also change the seller or service. So if you don't want to send it to the default seller that you have set in the service, you can change it. You can select a different seller. You can provide the service ID of that seller so that this particular order will be sent to that seller. You can do that using this change seller button. So it gives you that kind of ability that you can review an order and then send it to the seller. Do remember, any service that you have set as manual will not be sent automatically. So the next feature is a small feature. We created something in the same lines in one of the previous releases. So it is here. You can see this is a new filter called referring users. So when we select this filter, what it will do is it will only show us the users who have successfully referred some users to your website. So if you have referral feature on your website and you want to see who are the users who are actually bringing new users to your website, you can use this filter. So as you can see, there are two users only who are bringing new users to our website, user ID 2 and user ID 11, and it is also showing the number of users they have brought. Referred user count 5 for the user ID 2 and referred user count 2 for the user ID 11. Also we can see which are the users that this particular user has referred to. So for that, click on actions. Here this is referred users button. When we click on it, it is showing all the 5 users that user ID 2 has referred. Okay, no one else, only user ID 2. So it is showing all those 5 users. So this is how you can actually analyze your referral information, whether it is successful, who are using it, which are the new referred users, etc. You can get that information. So other than this, there are some bug fixes. there was a bug in the profit tracker where the sorting of amounts was not happening correctly. So if we try to sort on sale, price or profit, the sorting was not correct. So we have fixed that. It will appear correct now. The same issue was there in the statistics as well. So the sorting was not happening correctly for the amount fields. We have corrected that, and you can see it working fine now. So that's it. So these are the new features in this release. Keep using the panel and keep promoting. Thank you.